Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Irish Fantasy Punt. Dan, Jamie, Shane with you for another week. A little draw behind the curtain there. I pressed record and then instantly panicked as I tried to find the button for the intro. But I got it off all right, I think. There was no flags on
Again, we're very professional. Very professional.
Ever the production value here at the Irish Fantasy Punt recording studios.
We'll take interns if Joe, you know how to work this shit and help us out. There's no problem. We just don't pay.
Free. Yeah.
Yeah.
Free is the main thing.
Free. We like free.
It's exactly how we give our advice, free. We need to get some sort of Patreon going for the two people who ask for questions.
Oh.
Any wild or fabulous fantasy stories from the weekend?
Wild and fabulous. Not really.
Did you see the thing about the Iowa State punt return?
No.
You're asking me about college punts.
They had literally about, I don't know, it was a ridiculously low amount of offense anyway, and they couldn't get going at all. In like the fourth quarter, they might have had like 2 or 3 yards of offense or something in the fourth quarter. And next thing they stopped Oregon, and Oregon punted the ball to him. Your man catches the ball. He's pointing out players in front of him where to block. Catches the ball, evades 2-3 tackles, breaks it, scores, game-winning touchdown on the punt return, even though they were completely shit on offense the whole fourth quarter. Refs come back and say, no, it was actually it was an unfair return because he called for a fair catch. And they were like, no, he didn't. They were like, well, if he did, why wasn't there a flag on the play? Because that was an unfair return. They were like, no, it was definitely not a right return. It's not because we all want Oregon to win because they're like the number 1 ranked team in the league, in the division. It's no way a bias against you, Iowa State.
It was really annoying having the Austin Grand Prix on at the same time as football this week. It was made for very difficult viewing.
Last week.
No,
yeah. I did not watch it.
That was actually quite good for once.
Yeah, it was actually decent, right?
Yeah.
I did not watch.
Yeah, well, it's like the last 10 races or so, it's kind of just been like, who might get second behind Verstappen? At least this time it looked like someone might catch him.
I loved it the week before when they were like, Max Verstappen could win the championship this weekend. Like he hadn't won it, say, 9 months ago. Right.
And it's game over as well by the looks of Adrian Newey was talking to some reporter fella or some friend of his or something, and your man leaked it to the press. I don't know what it was, but they were basically like, nobody's catching us next year. If you thought this year's car was dominant, wait till you see next year's. So it's just going to be ridiculous again.
Yeah, the closest any car has gotten all year, and then the car got disqualified.
They were like, that doesn't make sense. There's nobody is ever 40 seconds or more or less behind Hamilton or behind Verstappen. It's like, there has to be something wrong here.
Pop that car there quickly and make sure it's all right.
Poor old Maxi.
We'll get kicking and start talking about our previous week in fantasy then. We actually had some uplifting pre-podcast notes from Shane about his 1-6 team.
Oh yeah.
Shane was going to worry, but he remembered.
Yeah, I was like, what uplifting notes do we have? I was like, I didn't get the memo.
I'm not uplifting. What are you on about?
No, I'm usually the opposite. Usually, very much, I try to take everyone down, bring them down with me.
Well, you spent the first like 6-7 minutes giving out, and then you were like 1 minute of positive. So
Yeah.
we'll take that.
See, always finish on a positive, though, man.
Hmm.
You forget. See, he forgot the negative. He forgot the negative. We just finished
No,
on the
no, I
positive. Not you, Dad did.
Well, yeah, I always have like a positive outtake on life.
No, you don't. You're the most negative fucker I've ever met in my life.
So-
I've actually just kept pressing sort on the quarterbacks, thinking that there's no way this is the highest point for the week, but it was not high scoring from the quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Tua. Is that the list you guys have?
No, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Minshew, Allen, Jalen Hurts, Tyrod Taylor.
I am
Kirk
into you.
Cousins.
Yeah, mine will not
Madness.
sort for some reason. It will not do it by points. But anyway, here it is. I was clicking the wrong button all the time. Professional as ever. It was
Again,
on the projection.
any free interns, we'll take it.
Do you know what it is? It's this Wednesday. It's this Wednesday mishap that we're having. That's what it is. The week's all muddled, and you don't know what's going on around you now.
Yeah, we don't feel ourselves at all. It doesn't really help the fact that I'm hungover. But anyway, this seems to be a running theme here. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson probably won you their week if they played for your team.
Yeah, they sure beat me.
100%. Which one?
Mahomes.
Uh,
I only lost by, was it 4 points or something in the end, because the rest of my team performed so well and Jordan Love was nowhere near as good as what he needed to be. If I got 25 points out of Jordan Love, I'd have won. Everyone else did their part. Everyone else did their part. And I wouldn't mind. I actually started Michael Mayer over Thomas this week. If I'd have played Thomas, I'd have won anyway. So it's my own fault.
Deontay Foreman, Alvin Kamara just getting wide receiver targets in the backfield. Jamar Gibbs appeared, Travis Etienne, and then Gus Bus rounds off the top 5.
Yeah, some interesting ones. Deontay Foreman was just I was playing against the Deontay Foreman owner this week, and I was just in shock there to about 9 o'clock. And my team kind of picked it up again, but my God, no one saw that coming, did they?
No.
If
you were putting it in there, you were putting them in there because you were stuck. Like you didn't think you were getting that.
Yeah. When I saw him and it was a flex, I was like, job. It's this one. An easy win. I still scored 142 points to win.
The Bears seem to have turned to more of a rush offense still, though, haven't they? Like they're not trying to pass the ball as much at all. Even with Fields, when Fields was healthy 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, like they turned to running the ball a lot more. So Bears running backs might be just that. Yeah, they do. It's like the offensive line is like, oh, this is what we actually are good at.
Oh, look at us.
Pass protect. What's that?
And then wide receivers, Jordan Addison in the big boy week, AJ Brown, Josh Downs, Tyreek Hill, and Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua back in the points.
Yeah. Puka looked good.
Jordan Addison saving Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. Josh Downs was your call last week, Dan, too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I think I had him as a pickup and possible play, but he wasn't my start of the week. I don't think. I can't even remember. I think Hollywood was my start of the week. He really he let me down there.
Let's just go with Josh Downs. Right? We'll give you credit.
Make me look better.
Yeah.
Tight ends. Travis Kelce has re-emerged as the first-round pick he should have been. Mark Andrews, Darren Waller with a big boy week, Dallas Goedert, and then Taysom Hill has come back from the death to lure you back in again.
No, that's just this is one. He does this 1 or 2 weeks every year, and someone always picks him up.
He's actually at the top of the trending list on Sleeper. You see, I think it's like how many people? Nearly 1 million people have picked him up the last time I looked at it on there.
Why they don't just play him more as a tight end more often anyway? Doesn't make any sense. He could be like a Travis Kelce-esque Aldi version for like the Saints. Like,
He got loads of passing work though, didn't he? The last day he got like 15 targets or a stupid number like that. I think it was.
but like they should give it to him more often. He's very good when he gets his hands on the ball. Like he's so hard to tackle.
Yeah.
And then defenses: the Browns had a big week, the Bears, the Ravens, the Giants, and then the Atlanta Falcons. I think it might be a thing now. Like the Washington O-line like Sam Howell just seems to get sacked over and over again. I think you should almost just target whoever Washington are playing for their defense.
Yeah, or New England, who they just had an up week this week, but they're about to go back down again. New England is another one to target.
Jamie, your kickers?
Oh, my kicker of the week is big Dusty Hopkins. Big week from him now. I think he's nearly the kicker number 1 and the kicker number 2 in the year now.
He's now my kicker. Hopefully, he will have no more weeks like that.
Big news on the kicker front too is Brett Maher got released for some strange reason, even though he was the number 3 kicker on the year.
Brett the Fret Maher.
It just it was really weird.
Didn't he miss a load of kicks or something this week? I can't remember.
Missed 2, but that was a bit harsh, to be honest.
He's had that issue before though. The Cowboys caught him over that like 2 seasons ago, and then he was with the Jets or someone last year? He was with was it Minnesota? I don't know. He went to someone else anyway. They caught him because he started missing as well.
It's a tough life being a kicker, isn't it? You're really,
Yeah.
it's really ruthless. It's tough in the streets.
The funny thing is with Brett Maher is I don't actually remember him missing like many from beyond 55. Like really long field goals he tends to get. It's the shorter stuff that killed him. Like it's like it's too close and he panics.
He was my kicker in my other league, and I suddenly was like, why can't I play this lad anymore? Why is he right? It's like, all right.
Right, let's move into the forecast for next week.
You just have to get ahead somehow, did you?
I love the sound beat too much. Like I have to put that in there.
You're paying royalties.
So let's move on to what is this is week 8 now, isn't it? Flying through it, lads.
Yeah, too far.
Thank God there's an extra week on my fantasy season to be over.
Any questions, chuck them into the chat as we're going. We'll answer them for you, no problem. We're a tiny show, so we answer all questions. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at IFPunts, and TikTok's the same handle, isn't it, Jamie?
Yeah, the Irish Fantasy. Yeah, the Irish Fantasy. TikTok is a bit weird, so wouldn't maybe change it. Again, professionalism.
Tampa Bay at Buffalo. I think the Tampa Bay offense has come back to the normal state, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's hard to kind of tell what I'm in there. Like Baker looks like he's playing so much better this year. White, like you give out about him every week, Dan.
I don't even have him on my team.
No, you still give out about him. Like I don't know. I don't like. I think I play Mike Evans probably be the guy. He's the only guy I'd be comfortable with really with Tampa Bay. I don't know about you. Too.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, I think that's probably all you're kind of wanting to play. Like White is such a disappointment because you just try hopes for him coming to the season. You thought him and James Cook they would be the 2 running backs to really come out this year, but just hasn't really happened, is it?
No, and it's annoying. Like if you're a Rashad White owner, which thankfully I'm not. Someone robbed him from me in the draft to save me.
Would you be taking a shot on White or play Madison against Green Bay?
Oh, Madison.
Yeah.
Running backs against Green Bay all day. Doesn't matter who it is.
Would you even look at Akers in that situation then? Akers or White?
Yeah. No, I'd fire him in. Packers are absolutely useless against the run. It's actually pathetic.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't play Akers, a second string running back against Green Bay over Rashad White. Like Rashad White's going to get the carries. Like it's just like he's guaranteeing you what at minimum 5 points a week. I know it's not great if for where you drafted him, but like 12 points last week, how bad? Like
But Akers got more touches last week than Madison, didn't he?
did he?
I think so.
I didn't go into the touches.
So we'll get to him when we get to him.
Yeah.
Let's back to Rashad White then, and I don't know, like it's like I'm looking for other options pretty much everywhere. It's hard to pick anything for Rashad White.
There's very few running backs stand this year, like especially with all the injuries. Like they're so hard to come by to get a good start running back anywhere. Is like because there's so many teams that just seem to be bad at running the ball as well this year, as well as like the good running backs getting hurt.
Yeah. Like you have him, you're probably playing him, you know.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the world we live in with running backs at the minute. Chris Godwin, you could look his way, but I wouldn't be too optimistic about him either.
Yeah, I can't understand in the points every week, the predicted points that they do on Sleeper and that, and NFL Fantasy. Like Godwin is predicted to get more points than Evans every week. It's like, guys, we're 8 weeks in. Learn who the number one guy is. Figure it out.
Targets though this week. He's moving up the old ranks, but like again, it's just it feels like a very unsexy pick, Chris Godwin.
Yeah, but like people are starting Chris Godwin and playing Chris Godwin. People don't seem to be trying to ship him a whole pile. When guys like Jacoby Myers are playing better than him, Adam Thielen is way better than him this year. Like those guys are so far up the charts compared to these guys. Like,
yeah.
The other side of the ball, then Buffalo. These kind of questions answer themselves, really, don't they?
Yeah.
Josh Allen in, Cook is in, a massive game this week. Diggs is in. Davis is probably the question mark.
If you're playing Davis, you're playing him for the touchdown. That's it, like, isn't it? The big long touchdown. That's what he's there for.
He finally did it. He did exactly what we said was going to happen. He absolutely screwed you the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Dalton Kincaid had a big week, though. Are you chasing that this week?
No, not with Bills tight ends. I've never liked the way the Bills use their tight ends. They're very hit and miss. They're boom or bust. Like, you're either going to have a big week or you're going to get under 1 point. Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah, he might be worth just stashing on a bench if he's on a waiver wire. If you have a spot, maybe just see how it goes.
Yeah,
that's all I can really say for that one. Move on to the next matchup, then, will we?
We have a question in the chat there.
Perfect. Let's see what we got here. Got offered Jeff and Kirk for Justin Jefferson and Christian Kirk for Breece Hall PPR. He gets Justin Jefferson 6-1. Our running backs are Kyron, Warren, and Moss.
And Swift.
And Swift, sorry. My wide receivers are AJ Brown, Tyreek, and Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I think I do it.
Yeah, I probably do it.
Was Jefferson going to play again? Like, he could be very easy out for the season. Like,
that's the risk you're taking there, though, isn't it? Like, that's why they're trying to offload him. That's why you're giving up Breece Hall and Kirk for him.
Yeah,
maybe if you weren't happy giving up Breece Hall, give up Kyron. Maybe Swift has been very solid, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think it's a solid set of running backs. To be fair to him.
I think I probably do it just for, like, you do have to do this trade with the knowledge that you're going to get you could easily get caught badly here and Justin Jefferson doesn't play again.
And you go from 6-1 to 6-7 at the end of the year.
I still think I'd probably do it, though.
Oh, yeah, so would I. I would definitely take the risk on it. Like he should be back. What they're saying in the next 2 weeks, is it? If he doesn't like go out for the rest of the year, like his IR thing is up in 2 weeks, isn't it? Or is it next week?
I don't know actually.
I'm not lucky enough to have him in any of my leagues.
No.
Jamie can do some research on that on his phone while we're scrolling through here.
Absolutely.
Houston at Carolina. This is a barn burner of a game, isn't it? CJ Stroud, Bryce.
It is for me.
You could probably look at CJ Stroud in this matchup, could you?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think he's a streamable quarterback now.
Yeah, Carolina's defense hasn't been great, hence why they're 0-6. Like their offense has been scoring. Their run game is terrible.
Yeah, it's if we put the questions out there, would you be playing CJ Stroud or would you be playing Kirk Cousins against Green Bay?
Well, I'd probably go Cousins there just because Cousins is like projected to get 14 points every week, and yet he's been hitting 25s and 30s. Like
he's a strange one, Cousins, isn't he? Like he feels like another guy who you're just waiting to burn you. Like
yeah, he's getting picks. Like what's he got? He's got is he the most picked off guy this year or something already? I think he's the most picked off quarterback this year. But Kevin O'Connell just that offense, the way he coaches that team, just throw the ball so much that he makes up for it.
Yeah. So, sorry, did we get an answer on that CJ versus Kirk?
I will go with Kirk.
I will go with Kirk, yeah.
See if we can find a bit more of a line here. Then, would you be playing Trevor Lawrence against Pittsburgh or CJ Stroud?
I'd go Stroud.
Probably go Stroud, yeah.
Yeah, that seems to be the line then.
I take Stroud over Dak even at the minute. Like Dak has had one big week. A lot of people are dropping Dak. They're starting him the whole time. Stroud is on waivers still, or on free agents now today. Like he's only 75% owned. Like I'd have Stroud in over Dak.
Yeah, he doesn't hurt you. Like
no, like I think he's ranked higher as well. I think than Dak at the minute. He's QB 18. I think Dak is like QB 23 or so.
Damian Pierce, any interest?
You're going back to the well. You're hoping the bye week has sorted them out. But again, we talked about this already. Like the Houston team are just throwing the ball more. They have better receivers this year than what they've had the past few years. Pierce's production is going to go down. It's just they're not running the ball very well when they do try to run it.
Yeah, it seems like they want to get him involved. The last few weeks, anytime I've seen him, they seem like they want to get Pierce in there. But like saying, like when the wide receivers are that good, well, you don't need them. Like and Stroud seems to like throwing the ball a lot more than handing it off.
And then the other side, the running backs, Miles Sanders and Chuba Hubbard. Miles is practicing again, so would you expect to go straight back to Miles, or have they both just become unusable now?
No, I think even when Sanders was fit there, Hubbard was out snapping him for a while, wasn't he? Like, I think Hubbard might actually be the lead back there. It's a weird one.
There are dumps of
both unusable.
Yeah.
Basically.
The run game in Carolina has been bad anyway. Like, but if I was gun to my head to start one of the two of them, I'd probably go with Hubbard again. I'd probably just go back to Hubbard. He seems to be getting the goal line work and he's getting more touches in general.
Receivers in this game, then Nico Collins is your auto start. Are you going to look at Tank Dell this week?
Yeah, probably. We low end flex option.
Well, he's only back from the injury, so I don't know. I think you probably sit and wait.
Say you're staring down Devonta Smith versus Washington or Tank Dell. Which one are you going for?
Oh,
Devonta Smith's been very bad now. People are looking for excuses to bench him.
Yeah, I would have had him gone already.
That's a good one, Dan.
I
That was actually a really good
probably
one.
would go with Tank Dell. Probably
Yeah,
would lean to the
I
Tank
think you
Dell
probably would, yeah.
because like look, he's had 2 weeks over 10 is all, but like his other weeks, what 6, a 2, and a 4, and they were like week 1 doesn't count for Tank Dell, we'll say, because rookie coming in, but the other 2 weeks then he was playing kind of hurt, went out. You kind of hope he get back to the 12 to 14 point ratio this week, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's hard to know. I feel like Tank Dell is one of those players that you might want to wait the week and see about the injury, but I suppose they're just back from. It's hard to know. Adam Thielen straight in. There's no question marks, but DJ Chark, are you looking at that yet?
I don't think I'm looking at anyone bar Adam Thielen in that offense.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's an easy one then. And then Dalton Schultz was coming on nicely before the bye. 3 big weeks.
Yeah, that was kind of the killer for Tank Dell owners then, wasn't it? Like Dalton Schultz getting so much attention, like he was getting so many targets, took away from Tank Dell.
I think Dalton Schultz probably the better play than most tight ends this week. But like if you're like, you know yourself, if Dalton Schultz is on your roster, like, and you're actually contemplating playing him, you probably don't really have another option at tight end anyway. Like,
no, I would play.
Yeah, I think he plays Schultz. Yeah, like he's earned at this point. If you have him, you've been happy enough for the last few weeks. So I know they were on the bye last week, but you know, like he seems to get the work. I think you play him.
100%. I agree with that. I don't think you're not going to turn away from the man now after he might have won you some matchups. The Rams at the Cowboys. Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott. I don't feel like I want to play either of them.
No.
No.
I don't think so. No.
You probably will play Dak again just because he was probably drafted in the 6th or the 7th round. But realistically, I think Dak is coming. He came off the big week into the bye week, so he would have been a trade candidate for me after having that big week. Try maybe to move him. I wouldn't be happy still playing him.
So Dax has had bad game, good game, bad game. Well, actually, no. What we'll call them is bad game, good game, middle of the road game, middle of the road game, bad game, good game. So if those trends continue, this can only be middle of the road or bad.
So sim for the week. What I'm saying.
Yeah.
Henderson came out, signed off the practice squad. No, wasn't even signed off the practice squad, signed off the street and had a decent week. And running back is so thin that you might be looking to play him.
Yeah. He looked quite good, to be fair to him.
With the way the Rams run the ball, you're definitely playing him. Like the Rams this year seem to really like to run the ball.
Would you play Henderson or would you play Ramondre Stevenson against Miami?
Oh,
Henderson. Yeah.
Okay, that was an easy enough one. Tony Pollard, you're just going to start him. We don't have a question mark there. And then Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua there straight in. Tutu, maybe? Would you fancy Tutu, or is this defense a bit too strong for Tutu?
It's probably
yeah.
I don't think you look past much of Kupp and Nacua there now. I think they're two solid options.
Yeah, we don't really discuss CD on the other side. That's a pretty straightforward one. Jake Ferguson hasn't really given you anything to kind of encourage you in this matchup, I would imagine.
Yeah, which is surprising for how much Dallas like to go to the tight end in the first 4 weeks. They really like using their tight ends. They just haven't gone back to it.
I just think he might not be that talented is the issue. I think if they had a decent one, they might have moved back to it. And then Tyler Higbee, we don't need to discuss.
No.
Minnesota at Green Bay. Jamie, do you want to give us the plight of the Green Bay fan?
We have another question in the chat before Jamie pours his heart out to us.
Yeah, I would drop Gabe Davis for Josh Downs.
PPR. Yeah.
question here popped in. Someone offered me Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert for Mike Evans and Pitts. I would take that trade.
I would not take that trade.
Jamie?
I don't want Pitts. No, I don't think I would. No, I think Goddard's too good of a tight end.
Yeah, but they're giving him Goddard.
No, they're...
Someone offered Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert for Mike Evans and Pitts.
Okay, right, yeah.
Learn the fucking English language, you
fuck off. But if that's the case, I still don't want Devonta Smith, so...
I don't like the fact that this guy has 2 Eagles either. Like, why would you draft? Like, I'd purposely try and avoid like that many receivers for one team. But anyway,
yeah, I doubled up a bit this year, and it's kind of bit me in the hole.
4-3, 12 team full PPR. I traded Puka, Godwin, Ramondre, and Warren for Chase, Ridley, and CJ Stroud. I'd be quite happy with that. It's like Puka, Godwin, Ramondre, and Warren for Chase, Ridley, and CJ.
That's very good.
Yeah.
That's like coming out like an A grade.
Very good.
Especially seeing Chase dominating.
Yeah, how did someone give up Chase for Ramondre, Warren, and Godwin? I know they got Puka back, but like he had a good week this week, but like since Cup's come back in, he hasn't had the weeks that he was having, and that was always going to be the case. And you managed to get CJ Stroud, a streamable quarterback, Ridley, who's a boomer bust wide receiver, and Chase, who's a dominant number 1 receiver.
I'd say the owner of what you call him, of Ridley, was fair pissed off. I'd say I haven't owned him anywhere, but I imagine he's quite frustrating to own.
Yeah, thank God. I'd rather have Christian Kirk.
Yeah, Christian Kirk doesn't get the applause he deserves. Jamie, we were talking about your beloved Green Bay Packers. Feel free to tell us the story over the top of this, Jamie.
There's just absolutely no need. Just absolutely none of it. We're supposed to lift each other up, not take each other down. Bullshit.
I'm a Cardinals fan. Go away.
Who have you been friends with for the last decade?
Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. And I just got a notification there about 10 minutes ago that Aaron Jones is questionable again, which he would have been the only person I would say would be streamable. They don't seem to want to use him. Obviously, he's not fit yet.
I'll give you DeAndre Hopkins for him.
No. AJ Dillon's not much a leg stand on. He's just not. He's not an option. You know, Jones isn't there. Dillon is not an option either. Love seems to have regressed the last few weeks, but it's not his fault. There's a lot of injuries in that team at the moment. Watson just doesn't seem right. I struggle to see who you play here, to be quite honest about it. The only thing is, it is a divisional game. You know, they're usually a bit more tighter. But yeah, I don't know. Like, the only person I think you're playing there is probably Christian Watson. You're going back to that while as a flex, but other than that, I think you sit and watch.
I have Dobbs on a roster, and I have no idea what to do with him. I can never bring myself to put him into the lineup, but I also can't drop him because he's being consistent. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, he does seem to catch the touchdown, which kind of inflates his points a bit better than like he actually is.
Yeah. It's also one of those guys, like, he has no real trade value. Like, who's giving you anything for Dobbs? Like,
no.
Yeah,
and that whole Packers team is injured. You know, the whole team's injured. Like, they were off on a bye week and they came back more injured than they were. Like, I have no idea what happened. Like, it's crazy. Like, you know, so I don't know. I think you sit them on. I don't think there's anything you can do with them.
Shane, were you going to come in with something there? No,
just laughing.
Laughing at Jamie's just despair.
I
You
love shit teams.
In fairness, he had like
Hey,
10 years in the playoffs
yeah.
all the time. Like,
You
That's
went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and like you should have won at least 3 or 4 more Super Bowls. Just terrible coaching,
yes, but I didn't watch
terrible
American football.
defenses.
I didn't watch American football when Favre was around, so like I didn't get the whole glory of that. It's my fault again for supporting.
Yeah, it is your fault. Yeah,
it is my
figure it
fault.
out,
It genuinely is.
even Dan got to see his team in a Super Bowl. I'm like the only one who hasn't seen my team get to a Super Bowl.
I don't know. I haven't seen my team in a Super Bowl.
Do you not watch the Cardinals Pittsburgh year?
No, that was like what 2009. I wouldn't have been a fan of the NFL at the time.
Oh,
Yeah, like I didn't really start following properly till 2016, and then I picked the Cardinals because of David Johnson's fucking 16 touchdown year, and then now I'm here.
regretted it ever since. Okay.
Okay.
You might be able to play Luke Musgrave at tight end.
Potentially. He does look a star to fair Musgrave. So yeah, I think he's good. I think if you need a tight end, you could just probably play him.
And then the other side of the ball is kind of straightforward enough. You're probably like we discussed Kirk Cousins, but you're probably playing him realistically. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
These running backs, this is where we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. Cam Akers is increasing in the snap percentages.
That's very similar to the Panthers, where they're just kind of getting in their way at this point. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, are they going to end up cut? Like, I suppose Madison still did have 53% of the snaps this week. He only had 8 attempts, is the issue. 3 receptions, but you might just have to fire them up this week though, because the Green Bay run defense is so bad.
Horrific, absolutely horrific. I plan to run the back against that defense.
Yeah, interesting. Let's just take a look. Someone has Akers on the roster in our team. Who still has Akers?
Yeah. They do. Running backs are a rare commodity in our league, man. There's, as soon as 2 or 3 of them got injured, everyone was just like, I need to stockpile running backs.
Mm-hmm.
I have too many quarterbacks on my team at the minute because I put Murray on my team last week just because he was coming off the PUP. I had Fields there, so then I had to go and pick up someone to actually play. So now I have like 3 quarterbacks. Just it's ridiculous. Like,
yeah, and you drop Stroud. Like, why did you drop Stroud? That was just so stupid.
I'm not going to drop Fields, and then Kyler's coming back, so I think Kyler will end up being my number 1, and then like try and trade Fields. I suppose is all I can really do. I could drop Fields to the waiver wire and watch everyone scramble. Like that might be fun.
Well, I'll just get him.
Yeah.
What do you mean scramble? I will just pick him up.
Jordan Addison, he's coming on strong with the injury for JJ, so that's a straight up play. You're not going to really question that one. KJ Osborne, you can probably look at.
Yeah, you could low end flex option again. Yeah, KJ.
Yeah,
I feel like if I had anything with any upside, I'd play them over KJ though. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, easily. Yeah,
like Tank Dell, I'd be playing over KJ Osborne.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. I'd probably even leaned as far as to say that I'd rather get 1 point with Gabe Davis than get 6 from Osborne, just for the fact that I put in Gabe Davis thinking that if he got an 80-yard touchdown, it was like 18 points. So I would be like, fuck it. Just I go for the boom play over Osborne.
Yeah, you're not going to win with 7 points, really, are you? Like,
no, not unless he's a tight end, which he's not.
TJ Hawkinson, segue from your tight end conversation there. He's a start. There's no question mark.
Yeah,
I don't know now. I don't really fancy playing the number 4 tight end in the league.
This is why you're 1 and 6, Shane.
Yeah, it's probably the reason.
That's a bold call.
Clearly a joke, guys. Thanks for the hurtful words, though.
The show is cut. Next matchup, New Orleans Saints at the Indianapolis Colts. Minshew kind of had a relevant day after the horrific Jacksonville match. I don't think you can play Minshew, though.
No, like, look, if you want to take a punt, but I wouldn't be doing it. I'm going to stick with my useless Jordan Love.
I definitely play Minshew over Jordan Love, though.
No.
I would,
No.
definitely.
Mitchell's had one game over 20. Jordan Love's had 3.
Alvin Kamara auto start. Jonathan Taylor auto start. Zach Moss is even probably a start as well.
Yeah, he got 18 carries last week. He just didn't do anything with him.
They had 36 carries, the two of them. Like, this is madness, Jonathan Taylor. I feel like they might just keep doing this.
Yeah.
They're both class. Why not? Like, it works.
Olave owners are going to have had a salty ride so far, but you can't really bench him, can you?
Yeah, but he plays for the Saints.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see that, no?
Might be in the
he got stopped by the cops, and his response was for going like double the speed limit. He was like, "Well, I play for the Saints, man." The cop was like, "And?"
So?
No, I missed that one. That one.
Yeah. Way to stay relevant, Dan. Professional.
What is it with NFL players and speed? And they always seem to be doing that, I suppose.
I got given out for bringing up this the last time.
Michael Pittman, Josh Downs. I'd be interested in playing both of them, to be honest.
I think you probably can, yeah. Downs has a couple of big weeks now, hasn't he? And Pittman just seems to be out now. One there at the moment.
This would be a saucy one now. Would you play Josh Downs or Chris Olave?
Oh, I'd like to say Olave, but Derek Carr is just so bad that I think they're on a par, but I think you probably go Olave just because he's the wide receiver 1. That's probably the only reason.
We'd all be locked in saying then that Josh Downs has overtaken Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
Philly of Washington. How about Josh Downs against Hollywood Brown against Baltimore?
Probably go Josh Downs. The Ravens look very good in defense.
Yeah, I'd probably lean the same way.
Mike Thomas then is probably a start as well, but it's kind of just hard with Mike Thomas. Like, you don't really like. He just feels very safe. He's very KJ Osborne, like I would almost say.
Yeah, he's a flex.
Yeah, he's just like a point or two better than KJ Osborne every week. Like, I might not win with 7, but 9, I could get it done with 9.
Like, say you had Mike Thomas and Rashee Rice. I'd be playing Rashee Rice against Denver rather than Mike Thomas.
Well, not this week because I don't know. Is Chris Olave even going to play this week? Michael Thomas could be in for a huge boost in his numbers.
He gets an extra 0.5. Mike Thomas isn't allowed to get over 10 points.
Yeah, well, he got 11 this week.
Oh my God!
Yeah, telling you, man. Telling you.
He's doing injury.
This is it. He probably is. Even though we're saying that Mostert is still healthy, so like the rest of the league might be safe.
Yeah. If you pick Taysom Hill up, you're probably going to play him. Like, you didn't pick him up for no reason. It wouldn't be my personal preference, but again, it's tight end, so who really cares? Pick whichever one you want.
Well, if Olave is missing, for what if he does, I think Hill here probably is the play.
Yeah.
Next matchup, it's a beaut. New England at Miami. New England just. I never want to even talk about New England because, like, what do you talk about? Like,
well,
Moving on to Miami.
Well, they won last week. Mac Jones was a very streamable quarterback. We had the massive
Yeah, but that's just
balls
because
to play him.
Belichick wanted to be an ass and beat the Bills for his 300 win. That's all that was wrong with him.
Two running backs for New England, they're
Benchable.
They're benchable. Like there should be points in this game. Like New England will have to catch up, but does that mean that Mac Jones has to throw a lot more?
Should be points in this game for Miami. That's it. It's like I'm not playing a New England player. Look, I hope Stevenson goes out and has a 21-point week, 20-point week, whatever. I hope Kendrick Bourne has a 20-point week. I really would like to see him make a game of it. But Miami, realistically, Mostert's going to have about 40. Tariq Hill will have 40. Tua will have 30. Jalen Waddle might even break 10 this week.
Kendrick Bourne, then you just mentioned him there. Like he's very much a stash on a bench at this stage, isn't he?
Yeah, but that's because like it's when there's you and like two tight ends are the only options to throw the ball to. It's pretty much like a safe bet that receiver can go on your bench somewhere or maybe a flex.
The Miami side of the ball is pretty straightforward. Like do we need to discuss much here? Like it's Tua, Mostert, and then your two boys at wide receiver. How did Jeff Wilson get on it inside? A couple of snaps.
Awful.
Yeah, he did nothing.
Yeah. Fair enough. Do you want to move on, or we keep? Do you want to? Does anyone have anything they want to discuss here about the Miami side?
No, just amazed that in a year from hell for running backs with all the injuries we've actually seen this year, Mostert is still on his feet.
Alive and kicking.
It's amazing.
You've definitely jinxed him.
I hope so.
Jesus.
I just want every fantasy owner to suffer how I have now.
The New York Giants at the New York Jets, or sorry, the Jets at the Giants is the official. How does this even work when one of them's designated the home team, and the other one's at home as well? It's just unfair. Like,
why would it be unfair?
For sure, both happy, yeah.
But it's like your home field advantage is now gone, and that counts as one of your home games.
Suck it up, get on with it. Don't play in the same stadium with someone else. So, get your own fucking stadium.
I feel like this week's football has been very like there's some matchups that like we have to get fantasy points from somewhere, but see, some of them are just hard sledding. Like Breece Hall. Let's talk about Breece. Straight into your lineup here.
Yeah, should be a good game for him. Should be a good game for both offenses here, realistically. Both more so the Jets offense. Like I would be happier playing most of my Jets players here. New England's defense hasn't been great. New York Giants' defense hasn't been great. The Jets' defense seems to be coming along.
Yeah, and Jones doesn't seem to be kind of coming on great this week again, so he might even play. See,
if Tyrod Taylor plays, I'd be much happier as a Giants. If you were a Giants fan, I would be so happy to see Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, like Tyrod almost makes like Waller more enticing as well on the Giants side.
100%.
Saquon's a start though. We don't really need to discuss that. You're just going to put him into your lineup. Is he questionable again though? I think I saw a questionable tag here up on him, but that might be just Wednesday.
No, it's more of a trade thing, I think. Oh yeah, no, he hyperextended his elbow, but he continued playing at the weekend.
Oh, I do remember him running to the sideline, holding his arm actually, and then he kind of came back in the game.
Yeah, no, he's fine.
The old Garrett Wilson discussion that we have to have every week.
I think I play him here. No,
I think
against the Giants.
I think it would, yeah.
Garrett
like
Wilson.
I know Garrett Wilson
or Garrett Wilson who?
Jalen Waddle.
Probably Garrett Wilson, yeah. Like Waddle isn't playing well.
That kind of gives a good indication. Then we'd probably play Wilson in most situations here. Then
Garrett Wilson or Cortland Sutton.
Ooh, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton has been good, though, in fairness to him.
Yeah, it was a major, amazing pickup by me at the weekend.
So humble. So humble.
Yeah.
And then any hope you had for Wan'Dale Robinson, just forget about it.
Yeah. Hyatt seems to be a guy who Tyrod Taylor prefers to throw the ball at. And he was a guy they were really high on coming out of the draft. He's like a super speedster. So like maybe Hyatt might be one to stash if Tyrod's going to be quarterback in the Giants for a little while.
Yeah, he 73, 71. Saying that
that's a deep stash.
Really
deep
stash.
leagues like
deep.
But this year, I've like wide receivers this year seem to be easy to come across. Like they really do seem to be easy to pick up. Like DK Metcalf went out. Yeah, but Metcalf went out of my lineup about 10 minutes before the game. I just went into our free agents and picked up Cortland Sutton off the free agents, got 16 points out of them. Like they are realistically this year, they're easier to come by. And there seems to be a lot of people holding bad wide receivers this year, fellas who aren't performing and leaving guys like Jacoby Myers, who I keep coming back to on the waiver wire. I just don't understand them being there now.
Yeah.
Jets at Giants is not going to be. Someone has to score, but it's not going to be the highest bill on the red zone, I would imagine.
No.
Jacksonville at Pittsburgh.
That was a good segue into this one now as well, Dan. That was a good segue into this
one. Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. Trevor Lawrence, tough matchup against Pittsburgh, but are you worried?
Probably
not really worried. Should be just expect them to get that 16 to 19 points that he's been consistently getting.
Steelers are so good defensively, though. So good.
The Steelers are 4-2, isn't it? Like they've really ground out a couple of games there.
It's all defense. Like it's all defense. They just turn over the ball and they keep scoring.
That is the art of the game, all right. ETN straight in.
Yep.
Najee and Warren. This is just annoying. Like these two.
Yeah, this whole committee running back thing is getting very, very annoying. Could we not just go back to like stud running backs, good old days?
Yeah.
The issue you probably have there is Najee isn't a stud running back.
Yeah, but that's more people. Like if we just start paying running backs again, we get more good running backs. Fantasy would be better. I wouldn't be fucking moaning every 2 minutes.
You would.
No, I wouldn't.
You would.
No.
If you again, when we were talking earlier, running backs is hard. You're probably if you have Warren or Harris, you're probably going to have to end up playing one of them.
Yeah, well, if you have Harris, I know you do because you definitely drafted him fairly high, so you're probably been stuck with him for a long time. I picked up Warren in the hope that he becomes somewhat better. I'm still not going to play him, but I think he's very you just sit him on the bench. You're not going to draft him either. But he's probably playable at this point. He probably is a flex option at this point, where you're probably happy enough where you're probably getting between 9 and 10 points.
Talking yourself into it if Aaron Jones is out.
That's my exact thought. That was literally my exact thought for as I was
he just 360'd himself in the space of 20 seconds. He was like, "No, I'm probably not playing him." And anyway, I was thinking, Aaron Jones is out for me this weekend. I might have to play him.
I have to play him, yeah.
The wide receivers then, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. I think you're probably going to have to play them, but they're not high upside picks either, are they?
I think Pickens is probably fine now. He had a good game last 2-3 weeks. And Johnson looked quite good the last day too, even though they were kind of easing him back in. But he had a big catch there for he got 10 points last week. So if he's still on waivers, I'd definitely be picking him up.
I'd be playing those two boys over Calvin Ridley on the other side anyway.
Yeah. Definitely
Calvin Ridley. big boom bust guy as well now, isn't he?
Yeah, Christian Kirk is elite as well, so he's going straight into your lineup. There's no real questions there.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about Schmevin Schmingram?
You play Ingram, man. Ingram's been he's him, Kirk, and Etienne are the three consistent boys on that team that you definitely want to play every week.
Yeah, and he's due a touchdown. He hasn't scored yet this year.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely due a touchdown.
And then what do we have here? Atlanta at Tennessee.
Another question in the chat there, Dan.
Bula Bula. Try trade Ridley for Waddle or Devonta, or hold him for this week. If you could trade Ridley for either, I would, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'd aim for Waddle first and then move on to Devonta. Waddle is about 3 points a week better than Devonta.
Much better off. Well, I mean, not much better offense, but I think they get the ball around a bit more than the Eagles would.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like, it's all these wide receiver twos don't seem to be doing much. Like,
yeah.
Sorry, go back to the matchup we had here. I got a bit distracted. What was our next game? What game were we even talking about?
Falcons Titans is the next game.
Oh, lovely. Falcons Titans then to start at the top. The quarterbacks, Ritter. No, either are you interested in that?
No. If you're badly stuck, you could probably. But the Titans seem all right on defensively too. You know, they seem a bit tough. Probably not here.
Shane, any interest in Ritter?
Nope.
That was a quick one. The running backs, we had this weird Bijan sickness thing.
Yeah, I wonder what will be the punishment for not declaring him on the injury report. Like, will they get rid of him for a couple of games? I don't think so. Hopefully not.
It'd be harsh on the player. It's kind of more the organization's fault, isn't it?
Yeah, but the player is going to be the one that ends up getting it anyway, because like they're going to have to punish the organization some way, shape, or form. You could see him maybe throwing out a 2-match ban or something for it.
That's such a weird punishment, isn't it?
Yeah, but like it did be like, well, that's what you get for not playing him. It's like, no, you can't play him.
I'm not chasing Tyler Algier in this game anyway. I don't have any interest against this Tennessee rush defense.
No, Cordell Patterson started to come in a bit more for the Falcons. I know no Bijan, but like he did seem to come in a little bit more at the end of the game last week. So he's one to factor in now.
He had like a little bit of a downturn this week, Drake London, but I think he's kind of moved into auto start territory. Drake London really hasn't he? Like,
yeah.
Never thought we'd say that at the start of the season.
Well, I was going on about drafting him. You were like, "What are you doing that for?" It's like, all right.
Shouldn't have listened to me. Even like you can play Kyle Pitts and Jonnu Smith. You can play the two of them.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's because they like throwing to the tight ends. I think I made a point about this last week. Drake London, big, looks like tight end. They're like Ritter's just like tight end, throw to him.
And then Tennessee, we had a discussion about this earlier. Hopkins has made it to your bench, Shane. So I think we're all in agreement. We're not playing Hopkins.
And it's
with
Tannehill out, like.
Yeah, you're praying for. Well, look, I'd be interested to see if Levis comes in. I'd be interested to see what he can do. But you're hoping Hopkins has a big week, maybe 2 in a row of decent weeks, and try trade him out before the deadline. But that's about all I'm hoping for out of Hopkins. I'm delighted with Tannehill out this week because that means Derrick Henry is going to get about 40 carries. Look out for Henry's 200-yard game this week and 3 touchdowns.
Traded Ridley and sent away Cortland Sutton, full PPR.
probably wouldn't have done it.
Probably not.
At least
see
you got
why.
some value for a waiver wire guy, though. Like
Yeah.
Cousins would have just been waiver wire pickup. Like,
Yeah,
you can
like
see-
I only got something this week off the waiver wire, like, but
Yeah, you
I
can see
just
why
feel
you
like
do it.
he's consistent in his production.
it's hard when there's just no consistency with Ridley. It's just like I'd say that's why you got him cheap though as well. Like, is because the Ridley owner is just sick of Ridley. Like,
Yeah, he's
It's probably a good idea to cash in on something now. Off the big week because like the Broncos aren't that good, yeah.
yeah, but then you didn't really cash in on him either. Like, you got Ridley back. Man's getting
But,
a
you're
point
not
every
gonna
2
get-
weeks. Like.
You're never going to get anything more than Ridley off for something like.
Yeah,
Do you
but
want
you
these
could
yet?
package something. Like
Yeah.
something in a package with someone else, you could trade up. Like, Sutton is good enough. He's consistent enough points wise.
Philly at Washington. We don't need to talk about Derrick Henry. You're going to play him. Philly at Washington. Jalen Hurts, Sam Howell. Hurts, you're playing anyway. Sam Howell, do you have any interest against a weak Philly DB group?
I think he plays somehow. Like
He burnt you
he's
last
good.
week. Like,
He burnt last week, but I think he's earned the right. Like, just a lot of quarterbacks have burnt this year anyway. Howell's been playing alright, to be fair to him. Like McLaurin and again Dotson have been playing alright.
and I suppose he's only had 2 down weeks, hasn't he? The rest of his weeks have been good. Howell, you probably can go back to that.
Would you prefer to play him or Matthew Stafford against the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, I play Howell.
Fair enough. Dotson, you mentioned him there, Jamie. I don't think I'm going to play him, but I would play McLaurin. Would you agree?
Yeah, you definitely play McLaurin. McLaurin's been very good this year. To be fair to them, Howell himself seemed to have that kind of rapport that they're playing really well. Dotson, I don't think you're playing Dotson, but I think Dotson is probably well worth to pick up. Stash on your bench, watch him for a week or two, see how he goes. Seems he gets a bit more ball.
Oh, yeah, he got dropped in our league, actually, Dotson. I didn't notice that. Logan Thomas, then you was going to plug him in because he's been okay. He hit a bit of a down week, but he kind of had another good week this week.
Yeah, he hasn't been killing you. Except for 1 week. Other than that, he does what a tight end does best. Mediocrity.
Especially when I pick him up.
Brian Robinson, then you're going to start him. There's not really any situation you're going to bench him at this stage, isn't it? He's been pretty good. I know he had a little bit of a downturn this week, but
he's doing all right for him.
He's like, what, running back 9 or something on the season, running back 10 on the season. You're definitely playing him.
Yeah, he seems to kind of have a good week and then a down week and then a good week. So hopefully that goes back to a good week this week. The Eagle side, Jalen's in, DeAndre Swift is in, AJ Brown is in automatically. And then like the question mark here is Devonta Smith, really. Like, it's been very bad.
It's not been good at all, but you'd want some balls to drop him.
Yeah, but like I'd play Sutton over Devonta Smith. Like,
I would do the same.
But I wouldn't play Calvin Ridley over Devonta Smith.
I would agree with that one as well. I suppose Michael Thomas against the Colts or Devonta Smith.
Yeah, like the only reason you're playing Devonta there is because you're playing him to say, like, can he boom this week rather than just burning you. But like, Thomas is the smart play there. 10 points, 10 points is what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Devonta doesn't boom this week, people are going to be upset.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert, then tight end, just play him. He has as good a chance of scoring as anyone else.
Our analysis of tight ends is just top class.
Great analysis.
But
like, there's the 5 that you're going to auto play, and then there's kind of everyone else.
It's true. Everything is like.
People really don't need much help with tight end. Like, it's literally go to your waiver wire and find. Like if you don't have
Kind of
one of the
that.
good
Somebody.
ones, just put any of them in. Like they all have as good a shot, don't they? Cleveland at Seattle. Amari Cooper on the road.
Oh, sorry. We have questions in the chat before you move on.
Oh, perfect. I'm 4-3. Should I trade Jonathan Taylor or Addison for Jefferson Pollard? My running backs are Eckler, Mostert, Mixon. Wide receivers are Puka, Chase, AJ Brown, and Michael Thomas. Jesus, this team is serious.
Yeah, you probably have the depth there to trade Addison and Taylor away for just Jefferson and Pollard. Like you could take the risk even at 4-3, I'd say, because just the depth of the team that's there.
Yeah, it's probably good, Joe.
You've obviously just had really bad matchups. Sorry, Dan, to cut you off.
Yeah, but if Jefferson does come back, then you've put yourself in a position to win the league, I suppose.
Yeah, realistically, you have and Pollard as well, So.
Yeah, are you you've gotten through the Eckler injury? Maybe that's what caused your downturn.
Yeah, he's responded down later on there. He said he lost his first two and got lucky with the waivers to pick up his wide receivers.
I traded Bijan and Sutton for Jefferson, Mostert, and Madison. I'm 5-1. So did he win that trade? So he traded Bijan and Sutton for Jefferson, Mostert, and Madison.
Which is 5-2.
Yeah, realistically, take the names away from Bijan and Mostert. Mostert's the better back to have,
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you won that.
There's been too much trading on name value lately. I feel like you should be just, especially in redrafts, should just be trading for the points. Like if someone is willing to give you the better scoring back for the bigger name back, bite the hand off him and take it. It's like a no-brainer.
Should I trade an always injured Saquon? I know that pain. And Dak for Derrick Henry, Geno, and D-Hop. I think Henry trade is a good team, is very possible, and Dak is my backup QB to Goff. So Saquon and Dak for Derrick Henry, Geno, and D-Hop.
Yeah.
It's basically just trading Saquon for Derrick Henry, which I would probably do.
Yeah. Every day of the week.
I think that's good. I think it's good logic too, because there is talks of Henry trade as well.
Yeah, I'd make the trade because purely the rest of the players there don't really matter to me. It's basically just Henry for Saquon straight up. Cleveland at Seattle is what we were talking about. Geno is probably going to a bench. I don't think you can really stream him in this game against a strong Cleveland defense.
Yeah, they're good. They're very good.
Just an aside, Myles Garrett basically won that game for them at the weekend on his own.
Yeah, he should be in the talks for MVP this year. It's I know it's a quarterback award, but realistically, Myles Garrett should be in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the front runners at the minute for MVP? Actually, are there any early bets?
Mahomes.
Oh. He's not even playing that well.
No,
I'm pretty sure it is Mahomes though.
Yeah, quarterback play hasn't been exactly fantastic from anyone this year, has it? Nobody's been 10 times better than everyone else.
Yeah. I suppose the early running Puka before Cup came back could have been kind of an MVP, but obviously he's a rookie, so that's not going to happen. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, even running backs wise, there was no major standouts even.
No.
Christian McCaffrey would have been the glaringly obvious one that none of us said, but
yeah,
very true actually. Yeah, anyway, it's Patrick Mahomes' favor for up there. Mahomes to Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson.
I suppose Tyreek is in the conversation as well. Jesus, we're all a bit slow today.
It's just a quarterback award, but realistically, if you're looking at that, McCaffrey and definitely Myles Garrett should be considered for MVP this year. Myles Garrett should be the first defensive player to win it in God knows how many years, but he should win it this year. He deserves it.
McCaffrey's 35-1. if you want to throw a ton or
Yeah,
not.
but he won't win it. It's the way they make their votes. It'll always be a quarterback award from now on out. It's just ridiculous.
Kareem Hunt, Kenny Walker, you're going to play them. Kareem Hunt's going to be your starter for a while, I think, based off Jerome Ford being out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Amari Cooper, are you playing him? It's on the road.
God, no.
No.
Just even saying.
All jokes aside, you probably are playing him, though, aren't you?
No, you're not. Just don't do it.
They don't have a quarterback in Cleveland, which is their big problem.
Yeah.
So I don't think you play any receiver on the
You're
Browns
just playing
side.
Hunt.
I think it's let's play on.
Yeah. If you want to take a shot with Njoku, I think Walker might get the ball to him a bit. All right.
I think that's
Yeah,
it's a shot though. I wouldn't.
he's
why
that
I
other
picked up
clear tight end that we're actually a little bit lower on again.
Like that's the main reason I picked up Cleveland's kicker this week was the Walker news. I was there like they're probably going to have to kick a lot of field goals.
Yeah.
Do you have any
You know
worries?
you're not great when you have the number 2 kicker in the league. Like that's how you know you're not great offensively.
Do you have any worries about DK against a tougher defense this week?
Yeah, is he even going to be back?
I'm not really sure. I didn't see much about the practice reports.
Yeah, he's still questionable as far as I can tell. He's it just says he's unclear for week 8. Like it's a tough one, but again, it wouldn't it really? And Smith
or
and
do you
Jigba.
do you stock and Smith and Jigba if he's still there?
I think he's rostered everywhere, but the problem you're going to have is, do you have the stones to play him? Could he go straight back, or are they going to increase his workload now because he had the big game and he's a rookie coming on?
I think if Metcalf is missing, you can probably play him.
And the other rookie to have, Jake Bobo, he had a big week as well last week because Metcalf was out.
Just seen I play Christian McCaffrey the weekend after this one while the 49ers run by. God is real.
Yeah. I played Christian McCaffrey when he scored his most points this year, so God can go fuck himself.
He's such a terrifying guy to go up against, and it's just like you could be 50 points up and you'd be like, I could lose.
It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Because I think I barely lost that game as well. I was like, I just got Christian McCaffrey.
The Ravens at the Cardinals. The Ravens defense looked good. The Ravens in general looked very good beating up on the Lions this week. Like, you're playing Lamar and then Gus Edwards, you probably can't look away from him after a week like that.
No, Gus Bus is he's definitely getting RB2 vibes about him now, isn't he?
Yeah.
You still don't feel comfortable doing it, do you?
No, you're never going to feel comfortable about it.
No. I think with the way the running backs have thinned out this year, I think you probably do feel more comfortable playing them now than a lot of other people.
Oh, like I have to play Justice Hill in a league, like, but sure, there's just no other option. Like, I just have to play him. I know I'm not going to get points. What can you do? The other side of the ball, then, what's his name? DeMarcado. How do you say this back's name?
DeMarcado.
Yeah, he kind of came back. You thought you were going to get him the week before, but you ended up getting him this week. So he's probably back in contention for you to play him now.
Oh yeah, he's RB1 there now for the next 2 weeks while Connor is out with injury.
Yeah, he has a sell by date. You're probably going to play him in the next couple of weeks, but then he's gone.
And he looked good as well the weekend. He did look good.
He did, yeah. The Cardinals seem quite good at running the ball. So I think whoever the running back is there, you can probably play him happy enough.
I imagine what's going to happen here is Kyler and James Conner will come back the same week after the bye, and it'll be a completely different team then. Hollywood Brown, it hasn't been as good as it was. Are you interested against Baltimore, or do you want to just sit for a week?
Yeah, I'm probably sitting him now. I was really high on him 4 weeks ago, whatever it was, but he's just not looked as good, and the Ravens defense seems superb. So I don't know, do I want to play him?
I think it's just a flex option. He always has a flex option. I think he's just playing to his flex standard now. It would just. I don't know how he was playing as good, but an offense so poor. But I think you flex him away. I think he's okay there.
The receivers for Baltimore were very good this weekend. Zay Flowers had a big day. Odell Beckham was getting in amongst the targets. He actually looked a little bit relevant. And, well, we don't need to discuss Aguilar and Bateman, really, but they were both catching balls anyway. Any interest outside of Zay Flowers? Would you look at Beckham?
Beckham seems to get more involved, so I think you probably could flex him.
Very low end flex, like very low. I just wouldn't. I don't have much faith in him.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have faith in him, but he does seem to get a lot more ball. I think I said I play Brown on the other side, so if you're going to play Brown, you're probably going to play Beckham too.
Yeah, I play Tank Dell over both of them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange one. Mark Andrews auto start, and then Zach Ertz is gone for the Cardinals now, so you could probably pick up Trey McBride if you want to do in a deep shot to see will he come on it at all. But I wouldn't be too hopeful now.
Just seems to like the tight end, and McBride he got a bit of ball when he came in the last day, so I think it's a good shot in the dark. So if you need a tight end, I'd load him up.
Move on to the next game. Kansas City at Denver.
Oh. Ouch.
Rashee Rice is probably the question mark on the Kansas City side, but I think he's moved into a nice little wide receiver 2 starter almost.
He's one my wide receiver 2 for the last 2 weeks. He's doing quite well. Himself and Kelsey are the options now. Yeah. He does seem to be standing out a lot more than the other boys. I think it's because he has a bit of talent.
Yeah, he's flashing. He's actually good at football.
Yeah, he's actually good at talent. Which is good skill to have.
Are you playing Zay Flowers against Arizona? Or are you going to go with Rashee Rice?
Oh, Zay Flowers, I'd say. Just slightly, not by much.
Yeah, I'd agree. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think it might.
I'd probably go Rice. I think I'd go Rice.
It's that's the ballpark you're looking at, though, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pacheco's in. Rashee Rice, we're saying, is in. Travis Kelce is in. So that's kind of the Kansas City side done. On the Denver side, it's a bit filthier.
Yeah, it's not great because the Kansas City defense is quite good too. So it'll probably be high scoring, but I don't think Denver will be able to keep up with them. Russell Wilson isn't good enough. I'd be very careful about playing any of these lads, to be honest. If you're going to play any, you're probably playing Williams.
Up one, Dan, up one.
My mistake.
Sorry, Jamie.
Sorry, don't worry about it. We're talking Broncos anyway. It's not like it matters.
I know he was very rude to throw the question up as you were talking.
You could have let him keep speaking. He didn't have to.
You got it wrong.
We just call out mistakes on the show. Sup, boys? Would you trade Bijan and T. Higgins for A-Chain, Amon-Ra, and Zay Flowers? Yes.
Yeah, probably would. It depends on your depth at running back, really, doesn't it? When's A-Chan back?
I imagine 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're 6-1 or 7-0 or 5-2, I'd take the chance, but if you're low on running backs, you can't make that trade. You just can't.
I I'd buy Durant after it.
Yeah.
I take it as well, but yeah, it is kind of a little bit depth relevant. Devonta Smith or Waddle? Waddle personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, all three of us are Waddle.
Cowboys D looking like a must drop after the games in week 10, 11, 12 because I have the Saints D. Do I try and get value for Dallas now with them games on the way or hold and hope for good scores? If you can trade them. Like, it's. Has the Cowboys defense been dropping off a lot, Shane? I haven't really been paying too much attention to them.
No, they've still been fairly decent. They had a bad week, all right, against the Chargers and San Francisco, but two really good offenses. But I'd say against the Rams, Philly, the Giants, Carolina, Washington, Seattle is probably the next game where you're going to be looking at them in week 13, where you're saying they might have a bad week against Seattle with Kenny Walker, but other than that, Philly is always a tight game with Dallas, and there's usually big plays. The defense usually go up big against Philly. So Buffalo week 15, then in Miami week 16, they're two big offenses that you'd have to worry about. I wouldn't be too worried about the Dallas defense. I'd be happy enough to keep them. You've Gilmore there to take away ball, Bland to take away ball, Parsons and Lawrence are sack machines. You're just Malik Hooker looks like he's back to what he was with the Colts year 1 and 2, so I wouldn't be too worried about Dallas's defense.
It's very very difficult to trade a defense as well. Again, you very rarely get value for them. There's always some guy who just overpays for a defense, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, I'd that guy if it's the Cowboys defense.
Yours, man.
Not anymore. It's 4 now. Yeah. Fuck yourself.
I get Kyron and Achan, and I'm looking to make a trade for a running back like Eckler. You think Kyron and Pittman for Eckler in full? Or was fair, sorry.
Kyron and Achan. Yeah, see, Eckler it's the whole name value thing, isn't it? The Eckler owner is going to want more, probably. But I think that's a fair enough trade. Kyron's been getting over 20 points a lot. Pittman's come along. He's 15 to 20 point kind of guy. You're getting excellent value for it.
Yeah. I think it's fair enough.
Also, how are you all doing? We're fine.
Yeah, we're doing good. We won't let Bartholomew, who's been a dick, bring the podcast down.
Yeah, I don't even understand why you'd bother. Why even waste your energy typing that? Just don't watch. Turn it off, man.
Yeah. You know what's sadder? You sit at home typing that in. Twat.
The Denver side, Jamal Williams. Do you want to play him? I personally don't.
Not really.
No.
Not even Jamal. Sorry, Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I was going to say something.
We have to band together after the attack we just took.
Yeah. Oh.
Something that's been very consistent. You're probably going to play him, but you might expect a bit less.
Yeah. I suppose.
Yeah, Judy's been awful. So Sutton has been getting the majority of that work, hasn't he?
Pretty much. Cincinnati at San Francisco. This should be a good game. Joe Burrow, Brock Purdy. Purdy's been on a little bit of a downtick, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just Purdy could show up half cut and McCaffrey'd still win him the game. It's true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but you go back to the well. I think you could go back to the well. Niners are good enough to do that.
Yeah, it's like 2 losses very quickly for the 49ers. Like I imagine they'll probably pick it up here a bit for this game. It's just you wouldn't think Debo going out would make such a difference to their team, but it seems to stall them a bit or something.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, which is it is unusual because Debo's production hasn't been like elite this year the way it was.
Maybe he just helps Ayuk get separation. You're still playing Ayuk in this game. You're still playing George Kittle. You're still playing McCaffrey. Like, you're not going to bench McCaffrey in any situation.
No.
But it just probably limits Purdy himself. You're not going to look at his way. Do you want me to go through, I suppose, like Burrow in, Mixon, probably just in. Like, it hasn't been great, but you're not really going to bench him, are you?
No.
Chase is in, and then T. Higgins is really your question mark.
He's on the bench.
Yeah, I don't think we're playing T. Higgins. Like.
No,
yeah,
he's on the bench.
That was a quick run through that matchup. We don't really need to talk any more about that. Then Chicago at the Chargers. Devonta Foreman, interest you in more of that?
No.
Yeah, look, I said I didn't want anything to do with him last week. I said it before we went to waivers. I was like, I'm not picking him up. I'm not putting Devonta Foreman back on my team. But the Bears seem to be good at running the ball, so you're probably throwing him in again this week and praying to God he can get a third of the production he got last week.
Yeah, you're probably stuck. You probably have to. Like he can't get 30 odd points and then you draft him. Like that makes no sense.
Trade him.
Yeah, I suppose you could if you want.
DJ Moore, you're probably just going to bench him. You can't play him here, like.
No, but he was all right last week. He did have that touchdown chalked off as well when he stepped in bounds.
Would you roll it again then?
I didn't.
Probably would, yeah.
I didn't want to, but yeah, like I think he's probably good enough that and Badgett or Baggett or whatever you want to call him, they did okay. They didn't look the worst.
He didn't throw it a lot though, was the issue.
I throw it more.
Justin Herbert, Austin Eckler, they're in, so we don't need to talk about them. Keenan Allen in. Josh Palmer, you might have a question mark around, would you?
Yeah.
Like,
Jamie, I think was right on Palmer.
Him or DJ Moore?
Oh, I'd probably stick with Palmer over DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Just look, I like the rookie guy that they brought in last week. I think he played really well at Tyson Bagent or Bagent, whatever way he says his name. But he seems more better pocket passer than Fields nearly. But Palmer, that offense just gets worked. Like the ball just gets worked down the field so well from Herbert. It's no brainer. Go with Palmer.
Yeah.
Should I trade away Kareem Hunt and D Hop for Waddle? 0.5 PPR has Saquon, Swift, Hunt, and Warren at RB, and CD, Ridley, D Hop, and Gabe Davis at wide receiver. It's probably a pretty good trade. I'd do it.
Yeah, you're light at wide receiver. All right, that's a problem.
Yeah, I think you'd probably do it. Yeah.
I've aimed for higher than Waddle. No.
But you're probably not going to get much more out of Hunt,
But like you're giving up that for Waddle. Like Jacoby Myers is outperforming Waddle, and he's probably going to cost you less.
Yeah, you're probably banking on Waddle coming back to Waddle of last year, but it's a bit late today now to be kind of hoping that. No?
Yeah, mid-season revival from Waddle, maybe.
Yeah, he might be a good buy low candidate. Josh Palmer, sorry, we were discussing him. We're happy enough, aren't we? You'd run him again?
Yeah.
Then the tight ends in the game, there's nothing to get excited about here at tight end. Like,
no.
You can maybe you can play Everett, you can play Parham, but like they're dart throws, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Cole Komet's kind of made his way to a bench. He's burned too many people in a row now.
No, he's not even on a bench.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Las Vegas at Detroit then. Jimmy G, you're not really going to ever look his way, are you?
No,
not happily.
Probably not.
But he has been injured the last 2 weeks, you know. I don't think he's streamable this week, but he probably, once he gets back fit again, he's probably watch if he needs to pick some up for a week.
Jacobs, you just go straight back to playing him. You can't really bench him. It was a down week, but just wipe it off and move on.
Should be used to them as a Jacobs owner.
Yeah. Do we have? There's no real chance of Montgomery playing in this game, is there?
I don't know. He's projected for points, but I'd say they probably rest him till the bye. Do they? They're not going to take a chance on him.
Yeah, I didn't think he was playing.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine so either. Jahmyr Gibbs is an auto start then. He had a big week and you kind of have to roll with that. Amon-Ra straight in. Reynolds, we had a lot of questions about Reynolds last week, but not so much this week. I suppose the bad production would lend to that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, like you'd wonder, like Jameson Williams took 6 targets and didn't catch a ball. So, like, did that kind of stifle Reynolds' production as well?
They were absolutely blown away too. Like the Ravens just were on top all day. So I don't think you can really judge them on last week.
And then the tight end, Sam Laporte, he's straight in. You can't really question that one.
No.
He's slowed down a little bit, but still, he's a lot more upside than most tight ends. Then Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, they're just auto starts at this stage.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Mayer burned you a little bit this week, Shane. Are you just going to put him on a bench, or are you going to drop him?
I'm not quite sure what to do with him yet, but I have Logan Thomas there as well, so I'll see as the week goes on. But if you did pick up Michael Mayer, I'd have no problem sticking with him as well against the Lions.
I think I'd bench Mayer for Logan Thomas in that situation.
I think he needs Garoppolo. You know, I think if Garoppolo's playing, those guys are a little bit more valuable.
Yeah, Detroit hasn't been particularly good against tight ends either this year, so that's the other side of that matchup. Whereas Philly have been better against tight ends.
That brings us to the end. Not too bad. We got through it. One vicious assault on our character, but that's about it.
So, I get worse on a daily basis.
I'm not with you on a daily basis.
Other people do it to me, Shane. Not just you.
Right, we'll close it out there. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at IFPunts. Say goodbye, lads.
What's up, boys?
See. You had one more fuck up in you before we finished it.